Hi guys, and welcome to this week's budget review. For those of you who are new, again, I switched to the Hemlock and Oak 2025 weekly planner. For the last 2 years, I've been using the daily planner, and I just wanted something a little bit more compact for this year. So I did switch to their weekly. Again, we're gonna separate this into little bits. That way it's a lot easier on my voice, and it's gonna be easier for all of you too, because it's gonna be separated into chapters. So if there's like a specific thing you're looking for, it's gonna be easier for you to find. So again, haven't made it through the self-reflection. Again, this is the budget planner. So I've done the self-reflection for the personal planner. I've done this multiple times. So like I know what's all involved in that, and I'm also starting the passion planner guided journal as well. So maybe I could take some of the answers from that and help fill in those pages. It's going to be like December. By December, I'm going to actually be able to fill those out. Um, life goes on, guys. Okay, so the setting goals, they have the goals section, and I want to start the year off with trying to get all of my store cards at a balance of 0, or to where like I know it's manageable and it's like where I actually have monthly payments set up. Um, October, November, December, I kind of went on a little spending binge last year, so that's what we're trying to take care of at this during the first quarter here. And we can see that I got the cabinet, so he's paid off, so got that handled. It it mainly looks like we're dealing with like household expenses now. I've started on the Michael's storage. I know I'm definitely gonna get the Maurice's, the jeans, and that's gonna be paid off. So it really does look like we are stuck with random household items, which I mean is a shame. It's a it's a shame, guys. I don't understand myself sometimes. But basically the main reasoning drive behind this is that any of the balances that I keep on these accounts takes away from the funds that I could be using to actually pay down the debts, since I am on a pay down debt free journey. So we can see we got lots of goal pages. I haven't done any new habits yet, guys. I'm trying to think of one for March, but it this one to me is difficult, just because they already have that habit tracker at the start of the month. But like we could see, like there's tons of little habit cultivations that you can set up if this is your planner. The daily framework, this was new from a budget point for me, and it was really interesting to see like how my energy level for the day actually does coincide with my spending. Um, if I am to overspend on something, it is normally right around this area. So it seems like as long as I got the energy and I'm building the energy up in the morning, I'm like preoccupied with stuff and I'm keeping myself busy. Where at this time, I guess I get bored, I get annoyed. Yeah, not the best part of the day here. So, I guess that kind of coincides with my emotional spending, since I am an emotional spender. Um, and of course, the self care activities, which again is something that I've never actually thought about, but most of my self care activities are free. They don't cost anything. A quick tidy up the house, just because I'm a weirdo. I enjoy it. It actually puts me in a better mood. It doesn't cost nothing. Decluttering, of course, I could gain money. Reading a book, I do have Kindle, but again, with, you know, four to five, 6 books a month, it's worth it. Uh, I need to read. I like to read. Exercising, again, you know, once I got the whole weight set and that, and I got that taken care of, again, doesn't cost me nothing. Painting, creating, designing, time with Bert, relaxing, taking naps, they don't cost nothing. So, I guess by starting this planner, versus like using the daily or the other budget planners that I've had in the past, um, I don't know. I've been a little bit more focused on the self care, just because it does reduce my spending. And the other thing that I did differently with this one is I did create a little vision board, and it's just a friendly reminder of how, like I, if you're anything like me, guys, you keep multiple planners. You have a planner for fitness, you have a planner for budgeting, you have the catch-all planner, I mean, a wellness planner. There, there's so many of them, but it just, I don't know. Budgeting isn't just about the numbers, because how I do my goals, my budget goals, my financial health, um, it affects my daily life, and it affects the things that I can do. So if I want more of these things, then I need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing, in, you know, the finance part of this here. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of like a weird little reminder of like everything's connected. Okay, so again, I promised that I would start taking more breaks, guys. So, we went through the setup, the values, the goals, and the habits. In this next part, we're gonna get into the a little bit more of the finances. So again, just gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. All right, so we can see with the 2 year overview pages, I like to use these for the debt payoff, the debt payoff plan. I was using I'm trying to remember the name of it, the debt payoff planner app, also known as Stebit.com. If you plug in all of your information, like all of your debts, interest rates, that type of thing, it'll give you a nice little payoff plan. For this year, I wanted to switch it up, and I just went old school here, and just basically stated, like, if I do the $50, oh, I gotta readjust this too, but I used a little pencil to tell me where I'm at in the payoff journey. um but basically, if I use $50 every Sunday towards the debt that I'm focusing on, how long is it going to take me to pay it off? I did not include any snowball payments in these, so these are like the bare minimum, the longest it's going to take to pay off my accounts. And this is what I came up with. So it's going to take me till April to get the perks paid off, July for PSECU, and for the city, it's going to be November. Um, we'll just explain for this year. So as I'm paying off that focus account, I just highlight the week. Then this way I can get a visual of how long it's actually taking me to pay these things off. I was pretty confident in January that I was going to get the perks card paid off. I really thought I could. Most definitely by the end of this month. It should not take me to April. It should not take to April to pay this thing off. But hey, you never know, because life does occur. But I'm really shooting for the end of February, and then that way I can get started on the PSECU loan, which is really annoying, guys. It's $100 every month that I could be using elsewhere, right? Okay, so they move on to this year at a glance page. I like to call this my dashboard. Again, these are the things that I put, like, what occurs yearly. So these are like birthdays, holidays, taxes, car inspection, registration plates, driver's license ID on the very first year, the insurance funds coming in. And I also keep track of the credit score just so I can one day hopefully understand what actually is affecting the credit score. Last year, when I went back to some very old bad habits, the scores started going up, and to me, it doesn't make sense. But like I said, 1 year, I'm gonna actually understand what makes this thing go. But it did go down 3 points for this month, and like, to me, I'm doing a lot of good things, but it went down. But the only thing that I can think of that would rationalize that is the fact that I did open up another account to take because I got a 0% offer. So I'm wondering if that was like the credit hit of them looking to see if I could get the account. So maybe that's where the 3 points were lost there. Again, though, I don't know, guys. I wish I had the answer. I know they tell you what it's about, but I mean, just from last year alone, I can look at it and say no, because I definitely put a lot on those cards on the last 3 months, and that thing just kept going up. Okay, so they also give you these quarterly pages, and again, like, I didn't know what to do with this at first. I was like, what am I gonna do? And I do use the sticky notes, guys. I could probably take this off now, but I don't know. I enjoy looking at them. They bring a smile to my face. So, what I did here is I'm, of course, listing the account that I'm focusing on for that month, which still is the Perks card. I wrote down the starting balance on the card, and this one may be a little bit trickier just because it is my spending card as well. It gets me free gas points, so no, I'm not going to stop using this because it would actually cost me more in the long run. But it's going to make it a little bit more trickier to keep track of the balance. So, January 1st, I had a balance of 733. Of course, I made the $230 payment on January 5th. It takes you down to 503. We're just doing basic math here. So on the 13th, I did another 50. Took me to 453. Now, for the remainder of the month, which the bulk of my bills are at the end of the month, so I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to play it safe. No more additional payments. I mean, we already had the $230 payment on there, so, just let it ride out. And once we get to February, we'll deal with it again. But at the beginning of the month, February 1st, my balance is 211. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. So there is going to have to be 1 week where I do not use this card whenever I come down to, like, where I think I'm going to be able to pay it off in full. Just so that I don't have the spending, like the daily spending amount on it. So I'm wondering if there was a daily spending amount on here that I wasn't aware of whenever I wrote the number. But another thing that I am doing differently this year is, let's see here. So these would be the starting balances that I had on the accounts that I have left. So what I want to do is I want to track to see, like, how much of a difference does the interest on these accounts, like, what's the effect on it with me paying per month. So, like, we could see I started with 733 for Perks. I now have 211. Like, we had 1218 for the city. I have 1202 now. So, whoop-de-doo, it went down $16. I know I paid, let's see here, 50. So 50 was paid on that. I only got 16 off of the principal. Merrick was 13. Merrick's now 1286. So I mean, we can see, guys, like I am making the payments, and these are actually like above the minimum, but with the interest, it's not going down as quickly as you would think it is. The one that makes me the angriest is, let's see here, there's, okay, so yeah, Discover. We started with 39.61. We can see Discover does get a pretty hefty payment here. I believe he's 100, a little over 100, and he went up. I only laugh because I have to, okay? Like, cause, like, come on, man, like, it's gonna be like impossible to pay this stupid thing off if it has the interest that it has. Hence why I'm into the, trying to get as many 0% balance transfers as possible. Am I gonna be able to pay that thing off by the end of the year? Probably not. But to me, I would rather know that that balance is going down with the 0% payments than just letting it ride out. So that's one strategy that I did change for this year. Before, I only focused on 0% if it was the account that I was focused on paying off at the time, where now I'm just trying to get like all of them on the lowest interest as possible. So that's how I'm using the quarterlies, and we can see like there's been no additional payments for February yet, which I probably should make one since, we're nearing the middle of the month. I did actually get to, do the seasonal spending page. I told you, I said just let me get through January. Let me figure out how I want to use this. And basically, this is what I'm doing. Is if it's a seasonal expense, basically if it's anything that I'm going to spend or buy or need, and I wouldn't need it other than the fact that it is the time of the year for it, such as snow removal. I'm not going to be buying snow removal stuff in July. Sweaters and jeans, to me, that felt seasonal, because again, I'm not going to be focused on needing sweaters and jeans in July. So hopefully not. Yeah, of course, I got the V-Day Decker. Ray's birthday is this month as well. I still gotta figure out what I'm doing for that, and that's this week, so I waited till the last moment. But that's how I'm gonna do this page, guys. I thought it was cute, and it, kind of adds a little bit of color and stuff to it. Okay, let's see here. Let's do just a real quick flip through of January. So this is what my overviews are going to look like whenever I'm done with it. Again, you do your boundaries that you're setting for the month, the 3 things of how you're going to carve out self-care, your intentions for the month, and again, this is that monthly habit tracker that I was talking about. So I only had 4 days out of January where I did overspend. So with me being somebody who used to overspend every day, 4 out of 31 is not bad. Another thing that I did is I started incorporating this do I want it, do I need it list. Basically, if something's on my mind, and I mean, you're gonna know, like, it's something that's literally coming up in your mind all the time of like, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, you need to buy this. I just started writing it down, checking to see, like, do I actually need to buy it? Which, when we get to February, we're going to see HP photo paper still there. Do I need to buy it? Yes. Is it, like, urgent? No. So I just keep putting it off. Who knows? Maybe I'll get an Amazon gift card and I can buy it with that. So that's the other thing that I added with this planner. And of course, I have the order tracker. So this is tracking off how much more I got to pay on these, and my online order tracker, which I actually like, guys. It helps me remember if I did buy something, and it helps me keep track of like whenever it's gonna be due. Not well, not really when it's due. This is when it's due for the mailman to deliver, and this is when it actually gets delivered. So, I've added all of that. A completed monthly layout, which again, I'll explain this more in detail when we get into February. And this is really how my weekly layouts, again, I've switched from a daily to a weekly, so this is how they are turning out once we get them all completed, and I love it. It just feels more cohesive, more compact. I can actually see like how my spending affects each of the days, but in a weekly format, so I'm not like just looking at one day only. And it just, I don't know, it just seems a lot more manageable, guys. So this is the week that we left off on for the last review, which was lengthy because, you know, we had all of January's reviews. And I mean, guys, there is just so much room in this planner. It's, this was a game changer. I am so happy that I switched over to Hemlock and Oak, guys. It's just been wonderful for my budgeting. Okay, so again, I'm gonna take a quick break. It just helps my voice, it helps me, keeps the anxiety down, and it helps with setting the chapters here once we're all done. So when we come back, we're gonna go over February. And finally gonna get to the week, right? Alrighty, so moving right along into February here. The boundaries that I picked for this month was that, you know, I really think that I did buy enough extra stuff over the past couple months. The buying needs to end here, so I want to see how long I can go without the extra spending. It was a great thought, but we're gonna see here in this week. I did. So it's a week. Which, okay, again, I really wish that I had planners from like 10 years ago, guys, so that you could see. I am making progress. I am. This is an improvement. But yeah, it's I've learned it's a week. I can go a week. Which before probably would have been like a day. I would have been lucky if I could have went 24 hours. Okay, so the 3 ways that I'm carving out self-care for the month of February is I am painting a Winter Starry Night scene. It is definitely challenging and time consuming. So again, when I'm painting, I can't be spending extra moments to read because I did get a really good book series. And again, if I'm captivated and in this imaginary world that the author writes, I'm not thinking about what I'm gonna buy. Working out even when I don't want to. I had to put that one in there just because January I was sick a lot and my workouts have basically become non-existent. But again, the same thing holds true, is that if I have a weight in my hands, I'm not spending. So again, this is kind of like that weird thing of where taking time out for self-care and just taking a break really does help with overspending. And again, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that. But yeah, self-care. So, who would have knew that self-care could help with budgeting? Okay, so the intentions that I have for the month and the milestones that I'm focusing on, again, this is going back to that goals page. So the main one is I really do need to get the My Perks account paid. I need to get that thing back down to 0 because I do not want to carry over balance. I do make payments on it throughout the week since it is my spending card, but again, like, I shouldn't be carrying anything over on it. And we are so close to getting that thing down to 0. Um, the second, which would be the milestones. So I went back to the goals page, and I just wanted to be a little bit more specific on this one. So I took a look at the list here, and I was like, okay, I already have the scrubber and the mini dumpster paid off. What on here can I focus on for February? And I figured, you know what, we're gonna start with the smaller one. So, get the stupid cabinet paid off, which, I mean, I bought this thing in October. Like, how is it not paid off yet? Of course, the jeans, and you know what, let's just focus on the Michael storage. And like I said, that's just gonna leave me with the household crap. Which I can't even tell you. Like, that's the sad part. Like, I can't even tell you what it is that I bought for the house that is on those accounts. I don't know. And see, that's where the issue lies, because I should be able to look at that and be like, oh guys, this is what I bought. I have no idea. So yeah. So we are gonna focus on the cabinet, Michael storage and Maurice's. The Amazon cabinet, he's done. He's out of the way, back down to 0. And I know I already have the funds for the Maurice's jeans, so that may be this week. And that's going to leave us with the Michael storage, which we can see I've already started on. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and just get rid of this one, get him done. So that's why I do like these order trackers. Just because, instead of just saying, yeah, I'm going to pay it off one day, I can, each of these blocks is $10. So if I do notice that I have $10 or $20, in this case 30, that's just kind of chilling in the bank account, I can say, oh, I'm going to put 30 on that, instead of telling myself that I have to have, the 154. So those have been helpful in that aspect there. Okay, and again, I still have the do I want it, do I need it list. And yes, Bert needed litter. We emptied his last little litter bag, and I did get a really good deal on it. I take advantage of the whole 35% off from PetSmart, and it always says, like, for your first auto ship, but guys, all you gotta do is, once you get the auto ship, is cancel it. Okay, and the next month when you do it, you get 35% off again. I'm taking advantage of it until I'm not allowed. It's, inflation. Prices are high. So as long as they're giving me 30% off, I am using it. So Bert got his litter, which is nice, and it's going to be delivered to the house. We can see that HP photo paper, I still haven't purchased it. If you would have asked me in the first week of January, I would have said absolutely need it now. Apparently I don't. Okay, and then of course, we can see the only online order, of course, for week 1 is a hair dryer. And like, at the time, guys, I'm like, come on, Sally, like, really? Like, was it a life or death situation if I got this? No, it wasn't. It definitely, it is like the photo paper. It could have waited. But then again, I do have some of the Laeng, I'm guessing is how you pronounce it. I'm not quite sure. But I do have another one of their products, and I do really like it. It is a very nice product. But I paid full price for it, where the hair dryer was on a really good sale. Because I guess it's their anniversary. So I was like, you know what? My hair dryer is on its way down. It's going to die soon, and I was like, I have their products at this good price, so I just convinced myself that now was the time to buy it. Really, now was not the time to buy it. But it made sense. It made sense at that time, and it was, again, late at night when I should have been reading. and instead I was scrolling. So I paid the price for that. Okay, so the monthly layout, and again, I said that I was going to explain this a little bit better when we flip through January. The thing that I'm doing differently this year is I'm separating them into categories. So all the savings, that would be like the IRA and my daily $5 a day goal. Those are in yellow, so we can just see that that's three things for the month. Bills are in purple. Those are, just your average bills that are due on the same day, typically the same amount. So that's your rent, your insurances, Kindle Prime, Netflix, Hulu, your utilities. Again, the stores and the credit cards, I did separate those as well. Um, so far, I've been keeping the credit cards in red, red for danger. Okay, and then the store cards, in the loans are in green. Um, I don't know. It just, I, I wish I had a better explanation as to why I did this, but I think it was just so that, because before I was seeing like all the cards put together and it was like, man, dude, you got a lot of credit cards, which don't get me wrong, the store cards are credit cards, but at the same time, like now I can just quickly glance at it and be like, oh yeah, store card, have you used that? Have you used that recently? Do you need to make a payment on that? It just works better in my mind. So yeah. And I haven't really filled out anything in the goals over here. I should probably think about that later on at the end of this video, if there's anything that I want to put on there. Because, I mean, January, I feel like January was pretty. I mean, it wasn't really goals. It was me trying to figure out which one of these accounts is a store account. And again, just reduce the spending, use points and rewards, add to the wish list. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see if there's anything that I need to add to that. So, I mean, the other good thing about doing this monthly layout here, again, if you're paid bi-weekly, is instead of focusing on the month as a whole, and again, I always keep this handy. I've tried using these in the past. These do not work for me. First off, we could see I got way more bills than what are gonna fit on this. And it just, looking at it from a monthly view, did like absolutely nothing for me, because like what I'm paying on these bills up here, like I don't get paid until the 7th, so these would actually go onto the January spreadsheet even though they're February's. A better way of thinking about it here is when I get paid here on the 7th, I need to cover everything that happens from here to here to here, with those funds. If you realize that you can't cover everything from here to here, with that, then we got issues. So, which I did, when I did first start using this method, there were times of where, no, I couldn't cover everything. And that is scary. But basically you have to try to cover these funds with funds from here, or drastically reduce your spending from this time. And it is tricky to dig yourself out of that. A lot of those, it's like you got to start making side money. So that's selling stuff on Facebook, selling the Etsy shop and that. Definitely reducing the spending, because basically at that point anything is overspending. So that's where you start to see how long can you go without buying groceries, how long can you go without putting gas in the car. But it's anything until you could get to the point of where you could say, okay, I get paid on here, I have to cover everything from here, and then you still have funds left over. That's really the goal here. And of course, reducing how many of these credit cards I owe on is going to drastically increase the amount of funds that I have available between those paydays. So that's really the whole reasoning behind starting the monthly layouts here. Whew, and we've made it. We've made it to the weekly review, guys. This one was lengthy again. I'm sorry. Okay, so again, I do keep track of my general mood for the day with a little smiley face. It just, I don't know. I'm a visual person, guys. It just adds to the page layout. So I do start with that. I have my focus for the week, which this week was to spend less. Hello, hairdryer. And the intention for the week was, can we knock out Amazon cabinet? Yes, we did. And of course, I relist all of the bills just to make sure we don't forget any of them. And then as we go through the week, I just keep track of any transactions. So these are transactions on credit cards, these are transactions on store cards, these are transactions through the bank. I used to, when I had the daily, I kept track of the starting balance and the ending balance, like a check ledger. Not so much for this one, just because I do use the YNAB app alongside this now, and that keeps track of the balances, so I don't need to do any more of that. YNAB does that for me. So basically this one is just doing like a friendly reminder of like, hey, you know, you went to Wendy's today. We had an Amazon purchase, which I completely forgot about, guys. It's a cookie subscription. Which they are tasty. Okay, they are tasty and they are not sold in my local stores. So I completely forgot. I could have put it off another month, but yeah, they delivered cookies. So things like that, you know, like that just like pop up in your budgeting that you're not expecting. Okay, what else do I have on here? Okay, Discover for 120. Is that, do I have, yes, I do. Okay, yeah, he is on, this is my make your own Tetris sheet. Again, each of the blocks is $10. I just made it a little bit easier, so yeah, I did mark that in here. I wasn't sure if I did or not. Okay, and of course, like I said, like the perks card is my spend card as well, so we can see that I am making the payments on it, and when I do make a payment on it, I pay that part off on the card, it does get a dash through it. Okay, so the electric and that did come through early, but we took care of that. Yeah, this one, I don't know what it was, but I caught myself just having an urge to go to Sheets. I did not need to go to Sheets. I already went to Sheets. I already got gas. Like, I don't need to go again. But, like, it was every time I got in the car, it was like, oh, you want to go to Sheets? If you don't have a Sheets in your area, it's the local gas station, okay? Like, I just had this need to go to the local gas station, which sounds really weird, but yeah, I had to really talk myself out of it. It was every time I got in the car. Okay, so again, like, I mean, there's so much room in this thing, guys. So I do have like journaling room in that still. This was me telling myself, like, hey, good job. You know, you made it through the pay period without needing to pull extra funds. I didn't have to use my stash funds, didn't have to use savings, and I got all of the spending transactions paid and covered. As we can see, they're all slashed. So it's like, heck yeah, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's about time. Of course, we had payday. Not a good day at work, by the way, hence the annoyed. So, I always put $50 out of my pay into what I call a stash fund. That basically turns into fund money. It's where I can buy things and not feel guilty about it. Stash is really going to pay off the hairdresser, or not the hairdresser, but the hair dryer. So right now I am feeling guilty about that purchase because I shouldn't have made it. But at the same time, I know that probably later on throughout the next week, I'm just going to pull the stash funds and just get rid of it. So that if you do see stash on here, that's what that is. That's like my personal savings, fund savings. The daily savings is that $5 a day. So for literally every day out of the year, I put aside $5. That becomes my emergency savings. Um, my theory on that amount was I can go to any drive-through right now and easily hand over $5 and think nothing of it. Starbucks, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, any of them, you could give them $5, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm getting a meal," and you would think nothing of it. But I was like, okay, so if I could do that, then I'm just gonna give myself $5. And it turns out to be like $1,800 at the end of the year, guys. Like, I mean, it's not a lot of money, but at the same time, it's like that's $1,800 that, it does add up, okay? And it has made the emergency savings fund like a lot easier to keep. Which then helps pay down debt, or pay for emergencies and car parts, and I don't know, that has been one of the better things that I've done with my budgeting over the years. So yeah, February is a short month, so we only had to do $70 this time. Again, made another Perks card payment. I was already on there for the City Balance transfer card, so I just went ahead and paid the double cash card while I was there. Okay, and then we got Bert's litter. I did finally make that Sheets trip. But again, I was there on Monday. Tuesday, it was like, gotta go to Sheets. And it's like, no, you don't. Wednesday, it's like, God, we gotta go to Sheets. And like that's the one that I found really weird because it was like, why? Why do you want to go to the freaking gas station? I mean, at least it was there. Okay, it could have been worse. Again, Thursday, Friday, it was like, you wanna go to, it was like, no, you don't. So yeah, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. I made it 4 days, so that would have been 4 trips. It's about $20 every time I go, so that's $80 that would have been missing throughout the week. So yeah, so we finally went. Again, the hair dryer, 77. That's the paying for. So that is the last one. So he's paid off. I gotta stop doing those as well. They sneak up on you. And of course, here's that Chase Amazon payment. So the Amazon thing that we saw in the goals from earlier, that's gone and done with. I went ahead and took care of T-Mobile and the car insurance, even though they're not due until this week. But, I figured I'm sitting here, I'm dealing with the book, because I always review it before these. So I was like, you know what, I'm just taking care of those. And, of course, another Perks payment. So it's not showing that I'm doing a Perks payment on here, because, again, these are additional payments. But, like, we could see, like, I am keeping Perks alive, guys. $10, $61, 186, 125. So like I'm not allowing the daily spending to rack that balance back up. So let's see here. He should be, I see one that's not highlighted. There he is. You are on the Perks card. So, like, I'm gonna say, like, this setup is so simple. It's actually simpler than what I've had in the past years. And at the same time, like, I don't know, guys. This is really working for me. It's allowing me to see not only what I'm spending per day, but it's allowing me to see like how the flow of the week affects that as well. Um, so yeah, and then of course, you know, you keep track of your me time at the bottom of the page. Gotta try to get those three in because that's 3 times that I'd probably be spending. So, I feel like this is good. This is a good place to end it. And we can see this is what's coming up for the next week. And yes, we have a dentist appointment, guys. Excited because I'm hoping that the tooth pain goes away, and extremely nervous and anxious just because it's gonna freaking hurt, along with the hurt of the wallet because I have no idea what this is gonna cost. So yeah, that's for this week coming up. It's gonna be great. And yeah, I think this is a great place to close out. So we are making progress, guys. It's slow and steady progress, probably the best progress that we could get. And again, thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.